Fluffy butt. You ready? Let's go. You want to do our normal loop? Okay. Okay. Hep. Well, hey there, everyone. It's Anthony back with another video on single and plates. Single and placing. Hi. How's it going? Hope you're doing well, having a fantastic day, weekday, weekend, week, month, evening, morning, overnight, all of that good stuff. Let's see if the grapevines are producing grapes. So it looks like we've got either some people or some animals doing some munching, because there's a bunch of grapes gone and there's some more gone. There's a few back there. I knew there was at least one little... Oh, there's a couple. Let's see. I just want to get you a picture of them. Here, you see that? Grapes. Cool. Anyway, yeah, it looks like something's munching on them. Anyway, hi. Hope you're doing well. We've got our fall leaves changing. I'm gonna have to go up and do a hike this week or this weekend and bring you along. But yeah, just back here with another walk and chat. Just got home from work about half an hour ago, and as you can tell, I'm in a weird mood. I just got done being frustrated and heated with Verizon. The home internet saga continues. If you remember from the last time, it took over an hour and a half to get my home internet set up in the first place, because the people at the store activated it incorrectly and all these mistakes were made. It was about a month ago. Well, I got an email about a week or so ago. It was like, hey, your boxes to ship back your equipment should be delivered. You can go ahead and ship your equipment back. I'm like, what are you talking about? I did not cancel my home internet. And so I texted in again when those boxes came in. They're like, oh, it's just a clerical error from when we were having issues setting up your account. We had to close the line and then reopen it, so it triggered a cancellation, but no need to worry, you can discard the boxes. I was like, okay. Just threw the boxes away. And then I got an email today. Thank you so much for being a Verizon home customer. We're sorry to see you go. Your account has officially been deactivated as of today. Make sure you return your equipment within the allotted time, or else you're going to be charged $400. $200 for the router and $200 for the extender. I'm like, excuse me? So I didn't have time to deal with it when I was at work today. So I got home to see if that's actually what happened, and lo and behold, yes, my internet was not working. So I called in again. They're like, oh yeah, it's very rare. This is a rare error on our part. This doesn't happen very often, but it looks like the cancellation when they canceled the incorrect line never got resolved, and your equipment was still technically tied to that line, so the cancellation did go through. And I'm like, well, what does this mean? And they're like, yeah, we can't reestablish your connection on those devices anymore. Once it's canceled, there's nothing you can do. So we have to send you out new empty boxes to return your devices, but in the meantime, we'll send you 2 more. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I just want internet. And so I was upset. I was like, be honest with me, how often does this happen? Like, when I get the new boxes, is it going to get canceled a month from now and I'm just going to do this swap every month? And he's like, no. And I'm like, well, that's kind of what it feels like. Like, this doesn't seem like a very successful business model to cancel people's subscription. Like, I'm over here trying to give you money, you know? And so I was like, Well, send me the boxes so I can return the devices. I'll call you back, or I'll call you back if I have any questions, or I'll just order the home internet again if I decide I want it. But I need a little bit to pursue other options and see if I just want to go with someone else at this point. He's like, oh, well, we don't want to lose you as a home internet customer. I'm like, clearly you didn't care in the first place. I mean, you canceled the subscription. It's no sweat off your back, clearly. Otherwise, this wouldn't be a thing that happens, regardless of how rarely. So you don't care. You've proven that. So now it's balls in my court, sweetheart. Oh, we got a potty break. Hold on. Let's go. So yeah, I was like, no, if I decide that I want to pick up the service again, now that you've canceled it, I'll just reorder it. And I kind of knew I was going to reorder it anyway, because I've already done the research. And then they were like, well, hold on, let's see if we can figure out another option for you. I'm like, surely they're going to be like, oh, just give us the whatever numbers off the bottom and we'll get it reactivated. I just had to, complain enough. But no, they were like, okay, well, we actually, we can get you switched over to our Fios home internet, which is a wired internet. And I was like, no, the whole point of this is the fact that I'm a renter, so I don't want new wires running through a rental home and have to get it cleared with the landlord. And they already have really slow internet at the house, and I'm not trying to change anyone's situation up. I'm just trying to have my own personal internet that I can use for work. And so I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that either. So they canceled it. They're sending the return boxes. And I sat at the house for like half an hour, and let's go back this way, and looked up some other options. T-Mobile has a 5G home internet, but they don't do service to my house. AT&T also has one. They don't do service to my house. And then I looked into Starlink, but I don't agree with a lot of Elon Musk's opinions and and beliefs. I just don't care for him just in general, so I don't want to give him any money. And it's like $120 a month for home internet, whereas this Verizon one is, I think, $35 or $45. And the Verizon one doesn't make you pay for the equipment. You're just essentially leasing it. Whereas Starlink, they charge you, I think it was like $300, $200 and $300 just for the router and the little satellite receiver that goes outside the house. And then I'd have to install a mount, and it's a whole thing. Whereas this Verizon one, you just pop a little box next to the window. So they make it really easy as far as the concept, but to keep the internet is apparently a problem that they're still working through. So lo and behold, I just went back on the app and ordered another set. And so I have boxes coming to return the ones I already have in my hands, because those are dead now. And they're going to send me new ones. And luckily it's only 2-day shipping, so it'll be here Wednesday. But I'm like, gosh darn it, I feel like any time I've had to deal with Verizon, like anytime I get a new phone or I have my Apple Watch and my iPad from them, every time it's a hassle to get things up and running. But hopefully it doesn't happen again. We'll see. But I was talking to Alex, my buddy Alex, over the weekend. We went on a hike yesterday and did about 6 miles with me, Apollo, Alex, and Maverick. So we did about 6 miles, and we were just talking, and I was like, I'm in saving up for a house mode. My title for my car should be here this week, because it's finally all paid off and taken care of. So I'll have my title soon. And I was like, I just want to start paying down debt and saving. And so I was like, I don't have a ton. My student loans are almost paid off. I have a couple credit cards that I can pay off. But my next biggest expenses outside of rent, of course, are my car insurance, which I'm going to call them once I get my title and get it switched to liability, because right now I have like full maximum coverage because it was a car that was under, you know, payments under lease or whatever. So they make you, when you buy a new car, get full coverage. But now that it's mine, I can do whatever I want. So I'm going to get that down, because my car insurance is $325 a month right now. So I'd like to get that chopped by a significant amount. My actual car payment was almost $1,000 a month. So that's $1,000 a month I'm not spending anymore. But next up is my phone bill. Between my iPad and my Apple Watch and my iPhone and now this home internet, that whole bundle is close to $300 a month, because I always finance the devices, which I know is stupid. But so I'm like, next up is paying off this freaking phone and this watch and this iPad, because with my iPad I never ever use the 5G on my iPad. It's always at home, it's always connected to the Wi-Fi. Don't need independent service. So I think I have like $200 left on that iPad, so I'm going to pay it off this month and cancel the service. The next up is the watch. Pay the watch off. I rarely ever use the independent 5G internet on my watch. If I have my watch, I have my phone. Even when I go for runs and walks and hikes, I always have my phone, so it's always tethered to that. And then once that's done, pay off this iPhone and move to prepaid, because Alex said he pays like $45 a month for his service, but he buys his phones cash outright. He has a pretty new phone, but he saves up and drops the $1,200 and the phone is his. Bit bam boom. Whereas I've always financed my phones through Verizon, and I've been with them for about 6 years now, I think, maybe longer. So yeah, pay off the phone, cancel my regular Verizon service, and just move to the prepaid, because it uses the same networks and it's unlimited everything. And then I'll just have my home internet $45 and then my prepaid phone $45. So I'll go from 300 to 90. So it's like, okay, you add that plus trying to remove your, get insurance cut down, plus the car payment, and like, you're pushing $1,500, $1,600 a month in savings that I was currently spending. That's huge. So I'm just like, just trying to like cut back, and it's not necessarily stressful. It's just like the getting there. It's like once I got in this mindset of like enough's enough, you're just spending too much on just monthly expenses. It's way more than like a single adult should be spending on things. It's like, okay, we got to cut all this back, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to do it. I'm just kind of in the gray zone right now. So yeah, that's the goal, is get all that paid down and done, get those credit cards taken care of. I have some medical bills on my credit report that are unpaid that need to get taken care of, and I think I can negotiate those down, and just try to get into a position where I'm 100% debt free. Don't owe anyone anything. So that is the goal. That is the goal. So yeah, trying to be more responsible, hopefully. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. Sorry that it was front of mind. I just got off the phone with them and I was like, Apollo, we need to take a walk. I need to blow off some steam. But I'm gonna film too, so I can complain. Over here. Come on, Sniffy. So yeah, that's what's going on with my day today. So I'm going to be without fast internet for the next 2 days. I'll just use my phone as a hotspot for now, until those new boxes come in. But it's like, geez, I already had that set up, got all nice and set up. I've spent the last month it's really good. I'm enjoying it. It's super fast internet, but if they're gonna just cancel it randomly, then that's not gonna be sustainable. Look, yard sign, yay! Been seeing a lot of those around town, or just not even around, I guess all around town, but even in the neighborhood. I feel like every few days I go on a walk and I'm like, another one, another one, another one. It's very good to see. Oh, what? Look, another one. Very good to see. I did over the weekend. Oh, yes, I am doing a workout. Over the weekend, I did a park cleanup event. It was for the Democratic whatever party here in the Denver metro area, just for a couple hours up in Broomfield. And then next, I think it's, yeah, this coming Sunday, there's a barbecue, a fundraising barbecue that I'm volunteering to help out with and attend, and have to bring a side dish, pre-packaged, not homemade, has to be in its original container, sealed. So I think I'm just gonna do like a potato salad or something. So I've got that going on. Work's going good. Busy, but good. It's keeping me busy, which is nice. I had over 100 applications for the various roles I'm hiring for come in just over the weekend. So all day today. I had other stuff to do, which I got done, but my main goal was to get through all of those applications and send them off to the managers for review, resumes and applications, and I have to review every single one and check off that they meet the qualifications. So one by one, I just listened to some chill lo-fi work music playlists and just read resumes all day. So by the end of it, I was just like, I feel like my eyes are getting crossed. So did that, came home, I didn't yell, but I just was I was very firm. I was like, this just doesn't seem practical to cancel someone's service if they haven't requested that. Like, that, how does that work, you know? It's a very rare issue, and I'm just like, okay, well, you know, you get paid to do this. This is your job. But I've sat on hold for half an hour to talk to you, in addition to the hour and a half I spent to get this set up a few weeks ago. So, is there some sort of per hour reimbursement you guys do for wasting people's time? I didn't say that, but it's just like, come on, guys. You're on a fine line. And so it's just an encouragement to pay off all my stuff and start cutting ties with the super expensive cell service that they try to charge. I mean, granted, they do give me Disney Plus and Hulu and ESPN for free, as well as Apple Music for free with my account, but I don't use ESPN. I don't know if it's live or recorded, like post live games of sports, I don't know. So Disney's like $12. Apple Music's $10. I don't really use Hulu that much. And so I'm like, meh, even if I was to buy all those separately, it'd still be less than my phone bill every month, you know? So it's like, there's no real incentive to keep paying. I think my cell service for my phone is like $80, $90, I think, not including how much it costs for the device and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm over it. I'm over everyone charging too much for things. I'm gonna start pinching my pennies as hard as I can. So yeah, Especially because I've got this trip coming up with Mom that we're trying to plan. I'm going to go over to her house on Sunday this week and go over the dates and details and figure out the cost for plane tickets and stuff. And then I've got Pennsylvania in May and then Mexico in June. It's like, yeah, an extra $1,600 a month could go a long way to get it not being stressed about all this stuff, you know? So I just got to stay the course and not get distracted with diamond painting and skincare, which I've been really good about. I have points on Ulta. They do like spend $10, get a point or whatever. I don't know what the conversion rate is, but the points equate to money that you can spend at the store. And I'm a little skincare shopper, so I have almost $500 in points saved up at Ulta, but I just don't know what to buy. And I talked to the lady, one of the managers at the Ulta I go to, and she's like, the best way to get the most out of your points is to spend them in $125 increments. That maximizes how much you have to spend because they do a round. So if you only spend $100, it uses $125 worth of points. So she's like, your threshold every time you come in is increments of 125. So either spend 125 or 250 or 375, but don't do $50, $60 because it eats into extra points to do that. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, well, I don't have $125 worth of skincare that I want to buy right now, let alone $500. And so I just keep looking at the app and building a little wish list of like, okay, when Black Friday rolls around and if I need it, I'll stock up on a bunch of stuff and get it all on sale. So I've got this running list of stuff, but I keep thinking that, oh, a skincare line might release some new products, or there might be, you know, some new launches that come out that I'll have to get my hands on, and then then I can make a purchase. And but everyone's doing holiday gift sets right now, and it's from a bunch of brands that I don't really shop from. So no one's launching like all new products right now. They're like in full holiday mode. So I'm like, I'll just wait till Black Friday, and if there's some big sales, then I'll just cash in then. But it's teaching me that it's not even about this way. It's for me, the shopping addiction is just like the purchase of it, not necessarily like what it is, you know? Like it's just the feeling of like shopping. And so I'm getting a decent amount of satisfaction from just going onto the Ulta website and building my little wish list and then closing the app without hitting the buy button. I'm like, I feel pretty fulfilled from doing that. It's just like the act of purchasing and like having new things is the good part. So I'm trying to create that separation of like, just go and window shop and get your fulfillment out of that and not actually hit the buy button. And I'm trying to train myself to do that. And I've kind of been doing the same thing on Diamond Art Club site, is going, I still have the app, I still have their Instagram because I'm waiting for Apocalyptic Garden to get released. And I feel like I just don't want to miss out on that if and when it happens. So I still have the Diamond Art Club app, I still get the notifications and stuff. But all I've been doing is like adding things to my wish list or to my cart, and to, you know, just to do it, you know, to have it there. And then I'll go back on it and a couple of them have sold out that I wanted, so I delete those and then just rinse and repeat every Saturday. Add more, whatever sells out falls off and whatever doesn't sell out stays on. And I'm like, well, I'll just keep doing this until the day that I actually decide to buy something again. And then whatever's in stock at that time, I'll have ready to go. And it's just kind of luck of the draw, I guess, at that point. So yeah, I was kind of bummed though, because I really, really wanted Candy Waterfalls and it got restocked. Thank you. It got restocked, but I wasn't ready to buy it. I wasn't ready to spend the money. I felt guilty. So it sold out again. I was like, dang it. I was hoping that would stick around, but it's okay. I'm sure it'll come back again at some point. And I don't need it. I mean, it's a big old square. I do have, let's see what's on my wish list right now. I have a few, I think. I have, what do I have, Apollo? What do I have, baby? Right now in my cart, I have Jasper C, which I just think would enhance really, really well. There it is. It's really cool. And I have Surreal Blues, which I think is an Eau Claire Studio kit. I'm surprised it hasn't sold out again. It's a restock. But I just love it, and I think even the finished one looks really good. Then I have Rhythm. I really think this one would gussy up well with some sparklers and metallics and stuff. So, and that's in round. So those are the three that I have on in my cart right now. And I do have a $50 discount code applied to whatever I end up getting. So I'm just gonna keep doing that until either Apocalyptic Garden releases or Black Friday or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I just keep adding and removing without buying. But I get all the way to the point where it's time to check out and I'm like, close it, you're done. You did your shopping, quote unquote. So yeah. But outside of that, trips, life stuff, yeah, just been hanging out with friends and what else did I do? Doing some volunteer work, and that's really the long and short of it. Oh, work-wise, my boss sent me an email last Friday. No, it was last Thursday. And she was like, would you potentially be interested in this? And I was like, oh, let me take a look. So there's this 2-day conference. What did you see? 2-day conference. By the time I edit and post this, it'll at least be tomorrow. Tomorrow's October 1st. So later on this month, there's a conference for a organization called, is it called like Top 100 or Work 100? I forget what it's called. But it is an organization that's committed to Black, Indigenous people of color, and how that relates to land in the Colorado or in just kind of western area. So they focus on ensuring that when large swaths of land are purchased by either the government or private sector, that they keep equity and inclusion and people of color, Indigenous people in mind when we're thinking about the sustainability or the rights of our land in the Colorado area over the next 100 years. So their whole goal is to create a century-long plan, generational plan to ensure that people aren't being, taken advantage of when it comes to indigenous lands, essentially. So it's kind of interesting. I was doing a little bit of research. Their website doesn't go into a ton of detail, but that does directly relate to the organization that I work for, because we are one of the largest landowners in Colorado, and because of the business that we do, we have to take that kind of stuff into account. So anyway, needless to say, we have somebody from our recreational department going, because they manage a lot of our swaths of land and different, bodies of water and stuff from a recreational standpoint. And they also deal with a lot of the purchasing and expansion of our, land property portfolio. But they wanted somebody to come from HR or talent and recruitment from more of a networking side to meet some of these other leaders, business owners, city, state officials, all this stuff. So it's a 2-day networking kind of conference up in Breckenridge, Colorado on the 24th and 5th of October. And so they asked me kind of last minute, hey, do you want to go? And I was like, heck yeah. You give me a chance to go up and network with some other professionals for 2 days in Breckenridge, which is like a beautiful town. It's where I go skiing. And I was like, heck yeah. So she's like, okay, submit the budget, like do it now so we can get a quick sign off from the chief. And so you can book your hotel. And they're like, well, we'll pay for 2 nights. We'll pay the night before the conference starts and then the day in between. So I'll get there Wednesday, nothing going on. Then Thursday, nothing happens until 5 p.m. It's like a mixer. And then Thursday night is when I'm supposed to check out. Or I'm sorry, Friday morning is when I'm supposed to check out, but that's a full day of conferencing. And so I didn't want to rock the boat. I almost, because of how the timing works with that conference, I almost pushed for 3 days because I'm like, I'm going to have to check out and then I have the whole day at the conference and it doesn't end until 6. So I'll have to drive straight home technically. So I was going to push for a 3rd night, but I didn't want to rock the boat. This is last minute. Budgets are already tight, so I didn't want to push for another night in the hotel. But regardless, I found a hotel that is dog friendly. It's this really pretty place and it's fairly affordable and they're dog friendly. So I was like, I'm going to bring Apollo. Since I don't have anything going on Wednesday, we'll get up there for check-in and go on a hike and hang out and stuff. Then the next day, the mixer isn't until 5 p.m. So we'll have that whole day to go hiking. And then I can leave him in the hotel room during the mixer. And then Friday, I will just book 2 more nights on my own dime and we'll stay Friday night and Saturday night. I'll do the conference all day Friday. Apollo will be fine in the hotel. They're like little, they're like not extended stay, but you know, they have little kitchenettes and stuff. It's not just a single hotel room. It looks like a little studio apartment. But then we'll have, when I'm done on Friday, come back, take him for a walk, and then we'll have all day Saturday to hike and then check out on Sunday. So we'll make a long weekend out of it. So once the chief signs off on it and I actually know that I'm approved to go, then when I book the hotel, I'll call them and say, can I extend that another 2 nights on a different credit card? And we'll just stay. So, yeah. So that was a little bit of a surprise. It'll be really cool. I mean, it's going to be beautiful. The leaves will have already changed and been starting to fall, but we'll have that October fall season hikes to do. And so I'll probably do some whipping jams or something. What do you smell? You're extra sniffy today. Yeah, you're extra sniffy. Diamond Art Club. Restock. Oh my gosh, let's look. Dang you, Diamond Art Club. I was just talking about this. They know. They can hear. They listen in. Let's see. Oh, Satura from Margaret Morales got restocked. That's really pretty. Big Sis got restocked. I already have that. Voyager got restocked. I already have that. Cutie got restocked by Anastasia Degtyarenko. I have that one. Okay. Looks like nothing I need. Halloween Cat by Puffy Gator is a cute image, but not for me. The only thing I would consider getting is Satura by Margaret Morales, but they're going to keep restocking Margaret Morales like it's nobody's business, because I think those are like the new top sellers. the new top artist. This Threads of the Universe by Scott Howden has always interested me, but once again, it's a square. I don't need it. But that one's always interested me. So yeah, let's keep going, buddy. So yeah, I have that little trip, and then I have 2 personal days, and those are personal days for us at my job. Use them just like vacation time or sick days or whatever you want, but they do not accrue over time. You get 9 of them the first week of January, and then it resets back to 9 every year. So it's a use it or lose it. So I have 2 left. So I think I'll use one for the day after Thanksgiving, and then one right around Christmas. And then it'll reset back to 9. And I'll use all of those for that trip with my mom, so that way I still have plenty to use when it comes time to go to Philly and Mexico. And I've been rethinking my Philly trip, or in my head, I wanted to do an entire week off so I could have the whole week up in Pennsylvania to do touristy stuff. And I might still do this, but just thinking about money, I'm not sure. But I'd love to do a week-long trip up there where I go to Hershey Park and I go to the Six Flags in Jersey and do some hiking. Maybe even make the trip down to New York, because I've never been to New York before. Like, I had this whole idea in my head of like a whole week-long situation, and then the wedding is on Saturday and then come home. But depending on budget, I might just go up on like Thursday and just do the wedding and come back. I hate saying that because I doubt I'll make another specific trip to Pennsylvania anytime soon, but Hershey Park and that Six Flags have been on my bucket list to visit. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll just pick one of those things to do and maybe come in on a Wednesday, do Thursday and Friday theme park stuff, and then there for the wedding. And I also want to be available to help out Matt and Jackie, who are getting married, because they're doing, you know, traditional wedding where they're putting in most of the work. It's not like a destination wedding or anything. So I'm like, well, I can help with boutonnieres and, you know, stuff a bunch of flowers and some foam for you and tie some bows on the back of chairs and whatnot. So if they need that manpower, I want to be available to do some work for them. And then Jackie, she asked me this, but I don't know if it's because she was imbibing in some cocktails when it happened, but she came to karaoke with us about a month ago, and she was like, I want you to sing at my wedding. And I was like, okay. And she's like, really? It's like, yeah, sure, why not? She's like, okay. And then I sent her a couple song suggestions, and she's like, no. So I'm like, I wonder if that was, I'm listening to you drunk at karaoke and I want you to sing in my wedding, or if that was a serious request. So I haven't pushed the topic at all. I'm like, if she really wants it, she will tell me what she wants me to sing and ask me to do it for realsies. But I tried a couple times, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And she's like, no, I don't think so. I was like, okay, ball's in your court. I feel like maybe you said that out of the lemon drops talking and not you talking. So we'll see. But yeah, so I've got that, and then the Mexico trip, I reserved my cabana, my little suite. They had a bunch of different room options. Alex and MJ had a bunch of different room options to select from. But by the time I got around to reserving my room, the basic room had already been taken. And so that's really all I need. It's just me. So I ended up getting, it's a villa. I'm sorry. I got a 1-bedroom swim up villa. So you open the back patio doors and you have like a little walkout patio, and then it's literally the pool edge. You just like jump into the pool from the back of your hotel and you can swim up to your hotel patio within the pool. It's like this massive pool. And I did not want to spend that kind of money just for the hotel. But that was the cheapest option that was left. Unless I wanted to get a 2-bedroom, like massive suite that sleeps like 6 people and it's just me, you know. But it is all inclusive while you're there. So food, drinks, the whole 9 yards, it's all part of it. And MJ was talking when we had when they had their fire over at Alex's a couple weekends ago. And she's like, I don't want this to be a stuffy wedding. I want it to be party from from the start to the end. Like, I don't want anyone to worry about anything, have to plan anything. I just want it all handled. So I get why they decided to do it, but gosh, I wish it wasn't that expensive, because plus the flights and ugh. So it's gonna be fun, but it's gonna be pricey. But it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. Good boy. Hi. Are you smelling? Are you sniffing? What is it? You're such a cute boy. You're such a cute boy. Yeah, let's go. Okay. So yeah, when we went on our hike yesterday, I went with Alex and Maverick, and we did about 6 miles up around South Table. And as we were coming back down, we got to stop over at Dom's. She lives here in town, so we were walking past her neighborhood on the way back from our hike, and she's like, yeah, stop by. So her and Brandon came out, and Dune was out, and so the 3 of them were just playing and roughhousing and having a good time. So that was really nice. Apollo got a lot of energy out, but Maverick and Dune do not get along. And it's not Maverick being snippy, which is usually the case. He doesn't get along with a lot of dogs. Apollo's like his only major friend. So he's just a curmudgeon. He'll be 12 next year, early next year. So he's just an older dog, kind of snippy, and he's not as bouncy, and he doesn't like to roughhouse. He's like, don't get away from me, you know? So usually he's the one that gets snippy with other dogs, but for whatever reason, Dune, who is just about a year old, was getting snippy with Maverick. Like, Maverick was trying to come up on the porch with the other 2 dogs, and Dune and Apollo, and Dune was like not letting him up on the porch and kind of baring his teeth a little bit. I mean, he's just a little scrawny thing, like, you know, he probably weighs about the same as Maverick, but he's gonna get a lot bigger, and he has some kind of pit bull in him, and he's a mix. But yeah, he started showing some mild aggressive tendencies towards Maverick, and we're not sure what it is. Maverick is not neutered, so he's always had all of his bits and bobs, so that can sometimes play a factor. But yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know why he was acting like that towards Maverick. And then him and Apollo are just bouncing and biting each other's necks and playing and laying on each other, and then Maverick tries to get in the mix or get near them, and Dune would be like baring his teeth and nipping, and I was like, whoa. So I don't know. Alex was like, it's okay, Maverick's an acquired taste. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I get that, but they should figure out, you know. And she's like, we take him to the dog park all the time, and he doesn't get like that with other dogs. And so I think it has something to do with just the hormones and stuff that Maverick's giving off. And Maverick's been extra whiny recently, which he does seasonally, and he gets itchy, and he likes to break out of the house more frequently, and just go exploring, which is why they had to fix their door. So I think he might also be in his season, if you know what I mean. So I think the combination of that being like, I need to find a mate, between that and Dune not having ever experienced that before, it might just be a territorial thing. I don't know. But I felt a little bit bad, because I'm like, poor Maverick, he needs more friends. And Apollo's over here like, I'm just a little social butterfly. I'll play with you, and I'll play with you, and everyone can be friends. Right, buddy? Yeah, you're just a little butterfly. So yeah, but yeah, Apollo, he hasn't met a dog that he can't sway into liking him. At least none of our friends' dogs. He gets along super well with Tally, Spencer and Katie's dog, And then when Jeff takes him in the office, oh, Jeff took him into the office last Wednesday, which was nice, because I had a career fair to go to. So Jeff took him to the office, and their like admin assistant, HR specialist, brings her dog into work, and that dog is, I think, about the same age as Apollo, maybe a little bit older. And that dog doesn't always get along with other dogs. Maverick goes into the office with them, because Alex and my old roommate Jeff are business partners. So it's Maverick and their HR specialist dog. And they tolerate each other, but they don't play. They just kind of sit on opposite sides of the office and just lay there. Because they tolerate each other because they've been around each other so much, but they're not like best friends. And then Apollo goes in there, and Jeff's sending me all these pictures, and I forget the dog's name. I'd have to look at my text messages, but he's like, yeah, she goes from disinterested and just kind of laying down to these two, her and Apollo, just like loving on each other and just wrestling and playing all day. And he's like, she's never like this. She's usually kind of a salty miss. And I'm like, yeah, I told you, he knows how to bring the puppy out of every dog and just be friends. So yeah, and Alex was talking. He's like, has Apollo never gotten into like a tussle with another dog? And I'm like, oh God, no. I'm like, he doesn't have whatever, he hasn't shown any aggressiveness. Who knows? Dogs are dogs. You never know. But I've never seen him get aggressive at all with any dog. And anytime a dog's been like, back off, dude, like at the dog park or something, he turns tail and comes running back to me, or he goes and finds other dogs to play with. So he's never been in that situation, and he's never instigated anything like that. It's like the only time I've ever seen him nip in any kind of aggressive manner. Oh my gosh, these trees, look at how beautiful. So pretty. In another week or two, they'll be all yellow. One time I was walking him at night, and it was pitch black, and I didn't have my headlamp on, and he didn't have his little light on. And so we were just walking around the neighborhood by the house in the pitch black, and he was jumping up on the ledges like he likes to do. And as he was doing that, I was like, you're so cute. Thank you for being a cute boy. And I went to go grab his little butt as he was on the ledge, and it freaked him out. He thought that something had grabbed him, or like a branch had hit him, and he flipped around out of fear. He like got scared and whipped his little head around and nipped my hand for like just a second, until he realized it was my hand, and then he was like, oh, never mind. But I freaked out because he's never done that to me before. He's never like nipped at me outside of like when we're playing. And so I was like, hey, absolutely not. You do not, under any circumstance, nip me. And I made him sit and walk right next to me, and I was like, you do not do that. And I mean, granted, it was completely out of fear. It was for like a second that I felt his little teeth on me, and he did not bite down. He just went like a bug had bit him, you know. But I was still like, no, under no circumstances do you bite people. So he hasn't done it since. And now when he's on the ledge, I'm always messing with him. I like push him, or grab his butt, or grab one of his legs, not forcefully, but just to let him know, like, hey, things are gonna mess with you while you're out here, so you better get used to it. That way he doesn't have that reaction. Oh, hold on. Look at the cute puppy.
Oh. No.
Chill out. It's okay. So yeah, I try to teach him that you're gonna get messed with all the time, so don't let it faze you. And I did that when he was a puppy, because I didn't want him to be aggressive towards his eating time. And because I know a lot of dogs get aggressive when they're eating, and if another dog comes up to them while they're eating or drinking water, or you try to put your hand down in the bowl while they're eating, they're like, back off, it's food time. And I always disliked that, the fear of, oh, keep everyone away from that dog while they're eating. So when he was a puppy, I was always pushing him away from his bowl, or moving the bowl, or putting my hand in there, or grabbing his little rumpus, or pulling his tail. That way he knows, like, you can eat while things are messing with you, and it's okay. So he doesn't have any of that like bowl or treat aggression or anything like that. He just knows that people and things will always be up in his business all the time, so he better just be okay with it. So, yeah, and even when we're playing, or he's got one of his bones and stuff, I'm always moving it or petting him, just to let him know, like, you can't be protective or territorial over your things, because that's how kids get bit too, you know, because they don't know the boundaries. So he doesn't really have any boundaries, which is good. So yeah, but I just found it really interesting because Maverick does not get into tussles unless a dog is aggressive with him, and he'll nip back. Like, I've seen him get into fights with dogs. There was one time we went on a camping trip and he really got into a brawl with a friend of a friend of a friend's dog that came on the trip. And so I just never want that to happen with Apollo. So anytime he's sensed danger or whatever, or he gets scared, he doesn't go into like fight mode. He goes into flight and just comes back or goes away, which I think is good. Makes him a little softy, but I think it's good. And then Joe had a couple of his employees. So Joe works for Alex and Jeff. It's all complicated, but Joe works for them. He's like one of their managers. And so I'm like pretty much the only one of our friend group that doesn't work for Alex and Jeff. Spencer works for them too. He's a project manager. They're all in cahoots, so I'm the only one that is not interested. We'll just stay friends, not co-workers. But anyway, so Joe had a couple of his guys come over the other day just to drink a beer and hang out. And they came inside and Apollo was barking, and he rarely barks, and his bark it's kind of, I find it to be kind of cute, but I guess it could come off as aggressive. It's not a deep bark. He just, I don't know. He's so quiet. And then when he barks, it's like, oh, I don't know how to describe it, but I find it funny that he even tries. But anyway, so he's barking at them, and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Because, I mean, Apollo is a big dog, you know. He looks intimidating, I guess. So they're like, whoa, whoa. And they are Spanish speakers. They know very little English, and so, but Joe is fluent. Well, fluent-ish in Spanish. And so they were talking to him, I guess, when they went outside with their beers to go hang out in the garage, and they were like, is he part wolf or something? And Joe, of course, likes to mess with them, because I don't know why, but he does. And he's like, I'm not sure, but my roommate said that he found him in the woods and brought him home. And they were like, what, really? And he's like, yeah. And they were like, he must be a wolf. And then one of the guys was like, are there such things as all white wolves? And the other guy was like, Game of Thrones. And he's like, oh yeah, there are white wolves. I was like, what? Don't mess with them, because now they're going to be scared of little Apollo. He did go up and sniff them, and they gave him pets and stuff, but when they first walked in the house, he was like, stranger danger, just started barking from a distance, and I was like, Apollo, no. That's okay, you're a good protector. Come here. Yeah, you're good. Stretch. Oh, it stretches. Good boy. Yeah, I just thought it was funny that Joe convinced his employees that I found a white wolf in the woods and brought him home. So anyway, this is technically the golf course, but I'm almost certain there's a trail up here. And I want to give us a little bit more time. Let's see, I think this just kicks us up to this housing development, but let's take it. So yeah, dog stuff. Apollo's still, last dog anecdote. So I've been talking about cutting costs, right? And so I was telling Alex how much my insurance is, and he's like, yeah, you need to get that cut in like half. at least, even if it means leaving Progressive Insurance. And I was like, okay, it's just such a pain. It's just such a pain to get on the phone and, okay, well, let's see if we can lower your rate. All right, we're going to bring it down 13 cents, just go through the whole rigmarole. So I just don't want to do it, but in the long run, it'll be money saved. So anyway, I was like, well, you think that's bad? You should see how much Apollo's insurance costs. And he was like, what? You have him insured? I'm like, yeah, of course I do. What are you talking about? And he's like, well, how much is that? And I was like, oh, it's like $150 a month. And he was like, what? And I'm like, well, I have him on the highest maximum pet insurance that I can, that they make. Like found the one that offered the absolute most coverage. Oh, this literally just goes into someone's parking spot. This is wild. Okay, come on. Come on. That was weird. I didn't know that's how it was gonna spit us out. So yeah, I was like, I'm so scared that something's gonna happen to my baby and I'm not gonna be able to afford it, And I was like, the thing with pet insurance that kind of sucks is you're covered, but you're not covered at the time of whatever happens. You pay for everything out of pocket at the vet, then you submit your receipts, your invoice for reimbursement. So you still need to have X amount of dollars in savings to cover the cost of whatever happens, which I don't currently have. So that's something part of working on all this is to be able to cover, if something happens to Apollo. But I was like, luckily, the vet that I take him to, they know that he's insured, and they've told me before that if something serious did happen, then they would perform whatever needs to be performed, give me the invoice so I can walk out the door, and then they bill me, and then I can submit for the reimbursal, and then once I get that check, pay the bill. So they won't leave me high and dry, or like, okay, well, if you can't afford for this life-saving whatever, then that's that, So at least they've got me there, which is good. The only thing is they operate during normal business hours. So if something was to happen outside of business hours, like it did during Christmas, I'd have to go to an ER vet, not his normal vet, and they probably wouldn't extend the same courtesy. So it works if you have the money up front, which is the part that I need to work on. It's like, okay, setting aside X amount, I don't even know how much, but some for an emergency for Apollo, knock on wood, that never happens. But that insurance also covers, and the expensive part of it is the wellness coverage that I have for him. So they cover things like nail trimming, ear cleaning. I'm taking him in to get his teeth cleaned next week. Teeth cleaning, which that alone was like $320 or something. But I can submit that for reimbursement. The dog wash, his toothpaste and toothbrush that he has, all that stuff I can expense. So it doesn't have to be like directly medical, they just call it wellness coverage. And there's a cap on that. I think the cap's like $1,000 a year. So it's not like I can go wild and take him to the dog wash every day, but it covers most of those types of expenses for an entire year, So in my head, it's, even though I underutilize the insurance, because he's a young, healthy boy and he doesn't get into too much trouble, knock on wood, it's nice to know it's there. It's just that how they do pet insurance is not like normal health insurance, where it's like, okay, we've run your insurance and your copay will be whatever, you'll hit your deductible max, and then you can leave here without paying anything more. And vet insurance is like, or pet insurance is like, nope, cash up front, and then you send your receipts to the insurance, and then they'll cut you a check. So you have to be willing to float that money for, the reimbursement takes about 2 weeks. You have to be willing to float that money for about 2 weeks before the check comes in. So, but yeah, he's on the like lowest deductible plan, highest amount covered, whatever it was. It's under the company's called Embrace Pet Insurance, and they're like one of they are the, from what I understand, the top rated pet insurance. Most expensive, but highest level of coverage you can get in the market right now. So anyway, so we were talking about that, and he's like, that is just so expensive. Why don't you just go for the lower coverage? And I was like, I'm willing to cut corners and cut costs and trim up stuff anywhere I can right now, but that's my baby, you know, like I can't even imagine giving him anything less than the absolute best that I can physically afford in everything I do for him, you know? Like, I mean, he obviously doesn't have his coach collar and stuff. He does wear a fragrance, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not walking around with a Louis Vuitton leash. This is climbing rope that's tattered and battered, and his harness that he's wearing is the one I got him when I first got him. You know, it's 2 years old and a little worse for wear. The only reason I got him a new collar is because the old one broke. So I don't really splurge on accessories for him, and like, you know, it's just, that's not where I spend the money. But insurance is top notch. His food is pretty much the best that I can buy. I found a new company today. I got fed an ad on Instagram for a dog food company that doesn't use synthetics, and they do freeze dried. So very similar to what I already feed him. The nice thing about this other company though is they include some really good additives like kelp. Was there cherries in there? Some other stuff that'll just help with the nutrient density of the product outside of the protein. And so Simple Food Project doesn't include like kelp and that kind of stuff. So it looks like it's a better blend, and it is of similar protein, but the carbohydrates are a little bit higher in that food. So I just don't want him to put on, you know, unnecessary weight. It's not that much higher, but I'm crazy and a nerd, so I'm like, every little percentage counts. So I'm like, okay, well, his current food has 11% carbs and this one has 14. Like, I don't know, you know. That's how in depth I go. So we may try it and see if he likes it. It's a little bit cheaper per pound, not by much. We're talking just a few dollars difference per week. But, you know, with how much his dog food is, that could add up, you know, that does add up. And they do a subscription service that's discounted, so they send him all the food he needs for the month. Plus you get like a free couple bags of treats. So I may try it. I may try it out. But for right now, he's still on the Simple Food Project and he really loves it. So anyway, all of that's to say, like, I try to give him the best to everything. The only thing that he doesn't get is filtered water. I haven't brought myself to get a Brita filter just for him, but I may consider it. I may consider it, giving him filtered water. Haven't gotten that far yet, but he just gets it out of the tap. But other than that, I try to do whatever I can to make sure that he's getting top notch. So I was just telling Alex, like, yeah, I understand some people don't have pet insurance. You know, not a big deal. Especially if you have the money to just pay for stuff out of pocket when it happens. But I don't, this is the thing that I'm in charge of, you know, a living thing. And it's gotta be the top of top, you know. I've said it before, but I will eat 50-cent ramen and dollar menu Taco Bell if it means that I can still afford to pay for Apollo's freeze-dried, all-natural, non-synthetic, high-end dog food. If that's what it takes. He doesn't get a choice in the matter, you know. He has to eat whatever I give him. He can't put his hand up and say, I'd rather eat healthy right now, you know. So it's my responsibility to keep him happy and keep him healthy and all that good stuff, and make sure that he has a long life, and doing the best that I can to make sure that he has a long life, you know. So anyway, but yeah, Maverick had a vet appointment. I was telling you guys that he was limping and stuff. They took him to the vet, and he may have injured himself when he was escaping all those times, but he also has arthritis in his hips. He's just, you know, getting up there in age. So Alex started giving him fish oil, and then I sent him a picture / recommendation of the New Zealand green-lipped mussels that I give Apollo for a joint. It's called Joint Power supplement, and it's just powdered green-lipped mussels. And then Apollo also has he takes MCT oil, which is supposed to be good for brain function as well as skin and coat and all that stuff. And then he takes CoQ10 for heart health, and he also gets a mushroom blend. It's like shiitake and cordyceps and chaga and reishi. It's supposed to be good for cognitive function. So he gets that, and I also take it. I also take the CoQ10, and then he gets, for treats, he gets those collagen crunchy snacks. We talked about that one time when I went on a hike. I had just bought them, but it's collagen, and that's very good for his joints. So I'm just trying to make sure that he has, you know, he has the best chance of staying happy and healthy. This way. Happy and healthy for as long as I've got him. So yeah, right? Yeah. And going on miles long hikes every day doesn't hurt either. We're almost at 3 miles just circling the block. So yeah, anyway. So it's just with Maverick getting older, Alex was asking all these questions about insurance because, you know, he had just taken a Maverick to the vet, and he was asking about this and that, and I was like, if you really want my opinion, you've never asked it of me, and people rarely do because they know how crazy I am with Apollo, but if you really want to know like what he gets every day, here it is. And I never push it on anybody, you know, push my regimen with Apollo, because I know it is a little over the top and it is expensive, you know. But he's, like I said, he's the one thing I've got, you know, and he's my best friend, and he's my son. And yeah, I'm gonna make sure he's well taken care of. But do you want to get up there? Good boy, good boy. You're so cute. So let's wrap it up with diamond painting. As you can tell, I've padded out this conversation with a bunch of life stuff because I don't have a lot of DP news for anyone. My finish and review / final week of A Question of Reality paint along went up yesterday. So that project is done. I just need to paint the borders, and then I'll be taking it into work to hang up. So that's done. Other whips, I have Medi from Alphonse Mucha, which I'm doing for the Mucha Mania event. I got another, I want to say 3 sections done on that over the past few days or so. So that's moving along. I'm hitting huge sections of white color blocking or skin tone color blocking, and then I get to a bunch of confetti and it slows me down, but it's a good mix. So I've got that going. And then I have my Custom of Apollo, I got 2 sections of that done, which was nice. A lot of checkerboarding that I'm doing right now. I just got to Apollo's little butt. So I'm starting to work on the fur. I am curious. It's not raising any red flags or alarms for me. I'm more curious to see how it's going to turn out because the colors that were selected for his fur are not as bright white and light shades of ivory as I was thinking or hoping. They're a little bit dipping into deeper ivories, not tan, but he doesn't have a bright white coat in the rendering. I'm just not sure if the rendering software was able to pick up the slight nuances between the white of his coat and some of the white in the clouds in the background, so it defaulted to making him a little bit darker. So I don't love that, but it's not so dark that I don't think I'm going to like it. Did I say that right? I don't think I'm not going to like it. Gosh, am I saying that right at all? You know what I mean. I think I'm still gonna like it. So, and there is white in the coat. It's just blended with some deeper tones. So I'm sure it's gonna look fine because it needed to create some dimension. It would look weird if he was just a white blob, you know? So I'm sure it's just creating some shadowing and some definition and stuff. But I'm on a part where a lot of it was kind of this ivory tone, and I was like, oh no, is he gonna be a little dingy dog? So I'm gonna keep working on it. If it's starting, you know, I'll do a couple pieces of his body, and if I'm unhappy with it, then I'll let Jade know and see what can be done. But I'm pushing along. So far so good. The detail and everything else looks really, really good. So I'm more curious than worried, I guess. So I'm gonna keep working on that. And then I have Phases by Yume Art and Diamond Art Club. No progress there. I'm still about I've gotten like 1 row plus a couple sections. It's a small kit. I'll say I'm 30% done. And then I have Garden of Earthly Delights. No progress. I've only completed 1 section. Maybe I'll do a section of that tonight, just to mix things up. And then that's it for whips. Kitted Up Not Started. I have Crusting by Iterations Crafts and the Creativity Squirrel. I'd love to start on that too, just so I can start messing with Creativity Squirrel squares. Maybe I'll do that tonight so I can start talking about my progress. I have that. I have Inner Garden by Yume Art. Kitted Up Not Started. And I think that's it. And as far as plans for kitting up, I have Wizard Spell I need to kit up for the Wizard event from Mia. And that's really it. I'm gonna wait until Medi and Phases are done and then pick a new round drill project to take on. And that won't be until next year, I believe, just with how progress is going on everything else. So yeah, and no new purchases on the docket. I have like 10, 12 kits from Jaded Gem Shop I'd love to get someday. Of course, my Diamond Art Club cart is always there ready and waiting for me for when I'm ready to spend money again. And then a new shop reached out to me. I don't know the name yet. I don't remember the name, I'll say that. I briefly read through the email, but the shop owner said that they were referred to me. Isn't that interesting? A shop gets referred to the customer. They were referred to me specifically because I've talked about how I'd like to see more men, like male partners in diamond painting. And you just don't see it that often. Well, this shop owner reached out to me, and once I purchased from them, and I'm telling you this because I'm making an exception with my spending here in a second, I'll get to it, a shop owner reached out to me and they were like, hey, I forget the gentleman's name, but it is a shop that's not specifically focused on I'll just call it queer art. not specifically focused, but a good portion of the artwork selection does feature queer art, and the shop owner, I'm sure they don't mind me saying, is gay. So it's a, you know, queer owned, LGBTQIA plus owned business with a decent focus on that type of artwork, specifically male and male relationship artwork. So they said that someone had told them that I was on the hunt for that and they should reach out to me. And so they sent me an email. I don't think I saw anything there about like, oh, I'll send you a kit for unboxing and review. I think it was just like a, hey, this person said you were looking for more of this type of artwork. Well, I started Diamond Painting Shop and I have that type of artwork. I haven't done enough research into their artists and stuff, but from a cursory glance, it does look pretty AI heavy, which I don't have a problem with as long as I like the artwork. But it does seem pretty AI heavy. I forget where I was, but I just did a very quick, fast phone scroll through their pieces, and I did see a couple that I was like, oh, let's go this side. Let's go this side. I did see a couple that really interested me. Not like, oh my gosh, like, you know, it wasn't so much that I immediately placed an order, but I was like, oh, I would do this as a diamond painting, and oh, I would do this as a diamond painting. So, in the sake of wanting to try a new artist, which, you know, I wasn't necessarily planning on doing, but this is an artwork style and a theme that I have really been looking for. So I'm gonna pick two. I haven't really taken a good look. I found one for sure that I'm gonna get. And I'll share, when I do the unboxings, I'll share the shop name and owner, and I'll respond to their email and just say, hey, I'm planning on making a purchase and doing a couple unboxings. Is there any talking points that are things that you want me to highlight about your shop as far as, is it resin, acrylic, artists, you know, do the whole thing, and maybe I'll even do a shop spotlight at some point if they're willing to do that or interested. This is very early days in me discovering this shop, so I don't know. But I'd like to get 2 kits, one round and one square, in the biggest sizes that they offer, because you know me. And I'll most likely be ordering those this week, next week, soon. And then I'll have a couple new kits to share with you. They're not, from what I remember, the prices weren't like, prices to me aren't crazy, but you know what I mean. Like, I think we were talking somewhere in the $40 to $60 a kit range, I think. Don't quote me on that, I think. But they have both a physical site and an Etsy shop from what I gathered from the email. If you know it already based off of what I'm saying, feel free to leave it in the comments. But yeah, I plan on getting one square and one round of some queer art that I can put their quality and everything to the test, and hopefully have some pieces that I'll be really excited to share with you all. But yeah, it was really awesome to have that shop owner reach out to me and kind of discover that there's some diamond paintings out there that are in line with what I've been hoping to find. At first, when I first started browsing, I was like, okay, it's like, you know, a hot, shirtless, hunky guy and like kind of like fantasy looking, you know? And then I got to a couple that were more my speed, you know? Editing, Anthony, if you can remember when you're editing, put the shop name in the description box and put a couple of screenshots of some of the pieces that you were looking at. I'll do that for now. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic. It really just comes down to quality and stuff at the end of the day, you know? So I'm hoping that it all looks good when it comes in. But I want to do those. I've been on the hunt for that style of artwork. It's rare to find. I think I found it. So I'm gonna go for it. It's not a big spend. So I'm willing to give it a shot, but I will respond to that shop owner just so I get some more info, because I really just took the most cursory of glances at the email and the fastest of scrolls through there. Oh, I was at the job fair last week. That's why. I was sitting at a table in between talking to students and like, A, quickly scrolled because I was there at a job fair, and B, kind of shut it off because I'm like, how spicy are these gonna get? And then like some student from whatever college walks up and I'm like, yeah, no, I wasn't looking at pictures of hot guys. So you're looking for a job. Thank you. So yeah, that's why I stopped looking. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so yeah. So I'll snag a couple of those kits and let you know how it goes. This way. Yeah, and last but not least, as far as upcoming videos, no real plans. I have to film my announcement video for Mooka Mania. That'll be going up in the next couple weeks, so you have all the information you need. Hopefully, if you are interested in participating, it starts November 1st. If you've placed an order from a specialty shop with longer shipping times, hopefully it gets to you on time. You know, more specifically in regards to Jaded Gem Shop, I'd say at this point, being a month out, you probably won't receive your kit in time. So, you know, you'd have to find a Mooka from elsewhere, but you have, at least for the purposes of this event, you know, if you don't care when it gets in, still a fantastic place to go to for Mookas. But you have some picks for Diamond Art Club as long as they're in stock. You have some picks from Diamond Painting Shop. A really nice selection of Mookas there. I don't know what the shipping times currently look like. There may be some ready to ship, but I think Rosa has also incorporated manufactured to order, so you might have a lag there as well. So, I mean, we're coming up, you know, a month in advance. These days is not ideal given shipping times, which is okay. But hopefully I've been talking about this event for long enough. We've been talking about it since the spring, that if you were planning on participating and ordering from one of those shops, that you've done it already. If not, like I said, Diamond Art Club may have some Mookas on hand. Otherwise, I'm trying to think of who else has Mookas that might be ready to ship. I don't know. Diamond Art Club and potentially Diamond Painting Shop. You'll just need to go and browse and find out. But you're probably a little too late for Jades, unfortunately. But that's... I know I've been gabbing about this event for a long time, so I think that people that want to participate are already in. And who knows, you might have a whip that you've already been working on of a Mooka. No new starts required, so you can use that. Or you might have one in your stash that you're going to grab. So, but the sign-up sheet for the event will go up on November 1st, the first day of the event. It's a Google Doc. It's going to look really close to the Summer with the Master sign-up sheet because I'm essentially using that same template. Thank you, Katie. And I think I already have the prizes worked out. I'm doing it all out of my own pocket just to avoid fuss-free event. So I think I'm going to do 4 $50 gift cards to, yeah, I'm just going to say it. 4 $50 gift cards to 4 of my favorite shops is how I'm going to do it. So it'll be Jaded Gem Shop 1 week, Diamond Painting Shop 1 week, Diamond Art Club 1 week, and not the last one, but one of them will be just a $50 Etsy gift card that I hope you will use to spend at the Creativity Squirrel. I'll reach out to her and see if she may be able to create a discount code for me and I can just PayPal her the money for the code, so that way the winner is is obligated to spend the money there, because I really do want it to go to supporting that specific shop. And if I do just Etsy, then you can use it anywhere on Etsy. Not that I don't trust you guys, but I want to make sure that I'm lifting her shop specifically up. So I'll have to figure out the means to go about that. Maybe I'll message her tonight. So yeah, that's how we'll do it. I figure I can, you know, throw that money at the event and not have to worry about asking any sponsors. And I don't have to worry about like, oh, did you get this? Here's the email for this person. Can you get them their this or whatever? There's only one event that I'm willing to do that for, and it's Summer with the Masters. Everything else, it has to be the most low stakes imaginable. But I didn't want to not do any prizes. I wanted to do something. So anyway, all right, well, we're just circling the house now, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. But thanks for coming along with me. This was fun. I feel like I haven't done it in a minute. We did 3.5 miles just about, so. All right, poopy butt. Not you guys, the boy. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content with friends, family members, anyone that you think might take some value out of it. Happy placing. We'll see you next time. Come here. I know there's a bunny over there, but you have to say bye. Come here. Come say bye. Apollo, come here. Hop up. Sir, hop up. Ugh. No, that doesn't count. There's a bunny right here, and he's so distracted. Come here. Come here. Hop up. For real. Thank you. Okay. All right, bye, everyone.